In United States now, the government has decided to cut federal funding to Harvard University because some pro-Palestine protests have taken place, and the government, like it has done with other universities in the past, the most infamous example being that of Columbia, where it pressurized the administration of the Columbia into taking action against students who were involved in pro-Palestine protests. And it has on its radar several of the top universities of United States where pro-Palestinian protests have taken place. But Harvard University stands out because and it is one of the most famous and wealthiest universities of not only just the United States but the entire world, and it has decided to put its foot down. It says that the government cannot interfere in the running of the university, in the policy matters, in the faculty selection process, in the students admission process, in allowing the campus community to organize demonstrations on campus, peaceful obviously, against any atrocities being committed anywhere in the world. And we hope that the Harvard example will give courage to other academic institutions all over the United States to stand up and to tell the Trump administration that what it is doing is bad for the academic freedom of the campuses. And this will have an important implication on the overall atmosphere of not just the United States but the world, because a lot of international students study on the campuses of US universities. United States has a history where students have been involved in activism. In the 60s, there was a free speech movement on the University of California, Berkeley campus, because of which students got right of free speech. And even today on the campus, during the lunch hour, anybody, even people from outside university, can go and set up their stalls and say what they want to say over shoulder microphones, and distribute leaflets or can display material for the common students. This is something which the university has allowed, and it is a very good practice because it allows the students to learn of issues which sometimes they do not have an opportunity to learn inside the four walls of the classroom. So activism is a kind of education because it teaches you about citizens' rights, because after all, students are not being just produced for the market. I mean, they are not some kind of material product which have to be produced in 4 years so that some company can hire them and they can make money for themselves and the companies can get rich because of their efforts. Universities are supposed to be places where students are enlightened about not just the subjects that they are studying, that of course they master during the course of their study, but they are also supposed to develop a citizenship consciousness. They are supposed to develop a consciousness of human rights. They are supposed to become individuals who will make this a better place to live in for everybody, not just for themselves. And this is a role which universities have played all over the world. But unfortunately, for last several years, since the Bharatiya Janata Party government has come to power in India, and now more seriously, the Trump administration in United States is actively interfering in the administration of the universities and is trying to curb this activism. The Secretary of the State, Marco Rubio, says that students are given visas so that they can come and study and get their degrees and not engage in activism. Now, this is not a mechanical process, and you cannot make it a mechanical process, because human being has a conscious mind and has a thinking mind, and they will obviously think about various issues around them, and some of them are bound to be more sensitive than the others and will take up these issues. And it is good that these issues are taken up, because ultimately it is the democratic thinking, it is the sensitivity towards the human rights which ultimately makes this world a better place to live in for everybody. So that role which the universities in general and the universities in United States have played, and it is very good that they have allowed international students to come in large numbers for the graduate programs, that is after the bachelor's, so that the students learn the liberal thinking, and then they take it back to wherever they go and work. So the efforts by the US administration so far, apparently they have revoked the student visas of about 300 students. A Palestinian student, Mahmoud Khalil, was targeted at Columbia just because he happened to have married a Palestinian woman whose father used to work for Hamas some time back. He has been ordered to be deported from the United States. An Indian girl at the same university, Ranjani Srinivasan, self-deported herself to Canada. Visas of other students have been revoked, and they are being asked to go back to their countries. And now they are not just taking the cases where students have been involved in protests on the issue of Palestine, but also if the students have committed some minor crimes, some violation of Motor Vehicle Act, or some small fight they have got into with their friends. All these cases are being taken up, and students who have even committed minor infringements of law and have been pardoned by the judges, the local judges, are also being asked to go back to their countries. Their visas are being revoked. So this is a very serious matter, because it essentially is coming in the way of free thinking and free speech, and overall concerns with the academic freedom of the universities. The high academic standards which have been maintained in the US universities are because of this liberal tradition of free speech and free thinking. And if this is curbed, then definitely the not only the academic quality of the academic institutions is going to go down, but also this liberal culture where you are free to say anything, invoking the First Amendment Act of the US Constitution. This will allow the situation in the campuses to deteriorate, and will not allow the kind of atmosphere where people can think freely and of course take actions based on them. So one of the courts has also pulled up the US administration, because the judge had blocked the attempt by the US administration to deport about 200 Venezuelan citizens, accusing them of being part of some criminal gang. But it turns out that they were ordinary citizens of Venezuela, and they have been deported to El Salvador, where they will be tried for criminal cases. But the judge in the United States had blocked their deportation, and now he says that because his order has not been followed, so he will take action to punish the US administration. So it is good that the actions of the US government, which are totally arbitrary. They are against the long held norms of the US society, which is a democratic society. It is probably the most equal society in the world, and of course the US government indulges in actions which violate the human rights of people all over the world. But inside the United States, they have tried to maintain an equal society. There are, of course, incidents where rights of minorities are violated, but if you compare it with other parts of the world, it happens less in the United States than in other countries. So this atmosphere, which has been very assiduously, very carefully built to allow a society to approach the ideal equal society, is now facing a setback because of the decisions of the short-sighted leadership of the US government. We only hope that the courts in United States and the common people will rise up against the anti-people policies of the US administration and will not allow Trump to revoke visas and deport citizens, students, and will not be allowed to interfere in the internal functioning of the US academic institutions, and the universities themselves will have the courage to stand up and say no to the US government if it tries to change their policies. Of course, there is a question of the funding, but fortunately most of the US universities are private, and they are in a position, with the help of their alumni, to run themselves. Maybe they will not have large amounts of funds, but I'm sure they can manage enough funds to ensure that they keep running, and they must ensure, the US society must ensure, that they do not re-elect such a president who has retrogressive ideas and is bent upon destroying all the nice things about the US society, the liberalism, the free thinking, free speech, the human rights and democracy, and we hope that they will put an end to all this. Thank you.